Okay, you've now seen the nutcrackers that I've already made, the ones that I've already embellished. This is the final one that I'm going to make, and I'll show you how I'm going to do him. So the first thing what I need to do for him, even though it doesn't seem so, is I'm going to have to trace him. And the reason being is I want to put an offset around him, and if I try to put an offset around him right now, watch what's going to happen. I come over here to the right to the offset panel and I click offset. All it does is make an offset here of the box. That's not what we want at all. So what I need to do is I need to come over here on the right hand side and go to the trace tool, which to me looks like a piece of toast. And then I select the trace area, click on that, and come over here and just select this trace area of this guy right here. Now, right now it's not a good enough trace for what I need, so I'm going to up the threshold, which is right here, coming over until I'm satisfied with how it looks. And I think it looks pretty good right about there. I'm going to try it and see, maybe just a tiny bit more up. That looks pretty good to me. So I'm just going to come down here this time. Rather than saying just trace, I don't want to color this myself. It's going to be a print then cut. So I'm going to say trace and detach. So now what that's going to allow me to do is take my little guy out, and even though you can't see a bunch of stuff here, there is a bunch of stuff right here. So we're going to delete that by putting a box around it, hitting delete on my keyboard. And I'm going to move him over yet further and do another box just to make sure if it doesn't grab anything else, because sometimes you just can't see the stuff and it is there. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on him, and now I can come over to the offset tool and I can offset him. Now, on the other ones that I already made, I left the offset at the default of 0.125, and I'm going to do that again. So it's already drawn the offset around him, and I'm just going to change it to white by coming up here to the upper left-hand corner where there's the color palette. Once I click in the transparent bars grid mark, there's my color palette. I'm going to change it to white. You really can't tell since it's on this white backing, but if I group it all together, right click and group, and bring it over here, now you can see the nice white offset around him. Okay, right now he's only 7.741 inches tall, but I want him to be as tall as the other guys that I made, so I'm going to make him be 14 inches tall. To do that now, I'm going to come up here and lock this lock, and I'm going to change the height to 14 and hit enter on my keyboard, and that's automatically going to change the width so it stays proportionate. Perfect. All right. Now, one thing nice about using this program as opposed to Cricut Design Space is I don't just have to get a box and slice it out. I can make my cuts be a little bit more unnoticeable, I guess, because I can use this knife tool right here on the left-hand side. Click on that and come up here, and I'm going to come here where it says straight. There's lots of different styles of knife tools. This is really cool, you guys, to try with these. But I'm just going to use the poly today. And I'm also going to uncheck auto apply in case I want to change something. I'll tell it when to apply it. So let's scroll in, and I'll probably have to do the knife tool again. Yes. Oh, no, it's still selected. So I'm going to come right down here by his hand, and I'm going to start, every time I click, I'm leaving down a little node or a point. So I'm just going to come up through here till I get into his belt, and then I'm going to go across here. So again, every time I click, I'm putting down what is called a point or a node, just coming in between here. And then I can just come right out here and double click to finish. Now, I'm going to apply what I just did with the knife, and that's going to slice that right where I wanted it to slice. But before I move anything, I'm going to grab the top part, right click and say group, because then the offset will be grouped with his regular colors. And I'm going to do the same thing with the bottom part. Right click, group, and now it's all grouped together. So let's scroll out and see what it's going to look like. Here's the top part, here's the bottom. Notice when I tape these two together, you're not going to be able to tell very easily because it's going to be hidden right in there. And again, if I was using Design Space, I'd probably have to make a box and just chop off his legs maybe right here, straight across. But I think this is a lot less noticeable, and I think it makes a better product or a better finished piece. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take the legs over here, and because this is going to be a centerpiece, I'm going to have a back side and a front side. So one part will have to be mirrored of the other part. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come over here to the replicate panel, and when we look at this, you'll learn what all these are all about if you're not familiar with this program. But I'm going to mirror it. See what it says mirror here? And I can mirror it down below or up above or to the left or to the right. And I'm going to mirror it to the right, just like that. All right, now I'm not sure if these are both going to fit on the same page as a print then cut. So what I need to do is go back to my page setup, which is up here at the very top. And I'm going to come over here to where it says media size. So this is the size paper that my printer can print. Mine can only do an 8.5 by 11. If yours can print much larger than that, your print and cut can be a whole lot bigger than that. Matter of fact, let me show you something. Let's say that you have a cutting mat that's 12 by 24. And let's say that you have a printer that will print 12 by whatever you have. Maybe you have some 24-inch paper, or maybe you can put a couple sheets together by taping them on the back. Okay, but you can do all of this at once because I can change my media size to 12 by 24. My cutting mat is 12 by 24. And if I come over here to put on the registration mark so we know where we can place items for print and cut, I'll turn that on. Look how big of a print and cut piece I can make on my CAMEO. I mean, I can make this thing, well, not quite that big, because look down here at the bottom, it's going outside of the boundaries. So I can probably make it a little bigger than this, which is about 18, maybe I can stretch it to 18.5 inches tall. That's how big of a print and cut I can do with this CAMEO. It's fabulous. Anyway, let's undo this. Let's go back to what I do have available to me. So I'm going to change my page setup now. My mat, my machine is a CAMEO. My cutting mat is 12 by 12. And my media size is 8.5 by 11. So this shows me how much area I have for print and cut now. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to see if these will both fit on here. And I don't think, even if I twirl them around, that they will. So because I wanted to try to be a little bit frugal, what I did was I piled everything on top of each other like this, and I grouped it all, and I just made it a tiny bit smaller. Let's see if that will make it fit. So I can put this guy here, and this one here. And now they'll fit together perfectly on one sheet. So what I'll do now is I'll go File, Print. I'll find my machine here, change my preferences so that the paper type is the type I'm using, and then the print quality, I always like to make that as best. So then I would just say okay. So I've already done that. So I'm going to have you look down here at my tabletop, and as a matter of fact, I've already done this as well. I did do one, two would not fit. I did him, and then I mirrored him. So I came over here to the replicate panel, and I said mirror to the right. So there's that. So this guy was already printed. Then I printed this one. So I'm going to stop here and bring you down to my tabletop and show you what's next. Okay, before I take you to my tabletop, I did want to show you that I do have this guy now. This guy's already been printed once, and I'm going to put him through and have him be cut out, and then I will bring you down to show you what I'm going to do next. So in order to cut him now, I'm going to go to send, and usually when it comes in like this with two lines around it. I don't want both of these lines to cut out. I just want the outer edge to cut. So I'm going to click on this to highlight it, and I'm going to come over here to where it says cut edge. Okay, and I know based on my machine, this is where I want my knife blade to be set, and I leave the force and speed alone. So I'm going to say send. Okay, right now it's reading the registration marks. And it's going to cut around the outer edge of him. Okay, that's finished. Before I take it totally off, I like to make sure that it's cut all the way through, and it has. So I'm going to bring it out from my machine. And then what I'm going to do is one more thing. I'm going to flip this one horizontally because I'm going to print this guy now, and then I'll come over and cut him as well. So I'm going to print him, file, print. My setting should be the right, print, and I'm going to take this one off of here now, and I have one more to do. So let's peel him off, and so one more to do. So I'm going to put this one on. I'm orienting it the same way it is on my virtual mat, meaning this little solid square is in the upper left-hand corner. And I'm going to feed this in. Okay. And I'm going to say send up on my machine, making sure that just the outer part of him is being cut. Okay, and send. All right, it's reading the registration marks. And now the next thing that I'm going to do, hopefully that's not too noisy, is I'm going to grab a piece of this. I'm not sure what size I need to make it, because what I want to do is I'm going to put this behind here, right like this, with the other piece, so it will help stabilize it in the back. And I'll show you that now. So here's one of the pieces. Let's see if this is the one that fits here. And that one seems to fit really well. This should not fit as well. Yeah, that one does not fit as well. So this is the one that goes with this. Okay. So what I'm going to do is this. I'm going to put a little bit of this tape runner. And by the way, if you don't have one of these tape runners and you like to do cardstock, I highly, highly recommend you get one of these. I will have a link for it down below. They're probably all pink now. When I purchased mine, they used to make them in the red. You might still find some in red, but most of them are pink now. I'm just going to set this right down on here like this. Then I'm going to set this piece right up inside here like this, matching it up perfectly. Whoops, a little off. There we go. Perfectly. All right, there he is. There's one half of him. And now I'm ready to get the other part. Let's make sure that he cut properly. Yep, looks great. Let's bring this out. Take this off the mat. So we'll do the same thing again with this part, because this is going to be the back of him. Because I want them to be double-sided, because I want them to fit nicely on a table for a centerpiece. So I want both sides. So I'm going to do the same thing I did before. I'm going to get a square of this leftover piece. And this is just taping the two halves together, giving them a little extra stability where those cuts were. So again, I'm just going to put this tape using my ATG gun. When you very first get this, you might think it's a little bit cumbersome, but boy, oh boy, I'm telling you what, you will learn to love this thing, I promise. All right, let's put this way, and then I'll bring him down on top like that. Perfect. So I got to find the other legs that I've already cut. Here they are. And just position these up in here too, like that. Perfect. And if there was any part that was peeking out, like I cut it too long or something, I could always go back in with my scissors and fix that. So now we're ready for this part, which I learned this from a gal named Jill. I think she has a place called Crick Flicks. As a matter of fact, I only decided to do these little guys here because I had seen that she had done them recently, and I thought, oh, I remember following her techniques a long, long time ago, and I'm going to make some of these to have around my house. So I think they're really cute. So what you do then is you get rid of this ATG gun and you get out your hot glue gun. Right here I have mine. I always leave mine in the cup. If you've been watching me for years, you see that I always tell you I just throw it in this cup because I can't seem to get it on a stand. So let's see, I'll take one of these and just start getting out. I have two different sizes of sticks. Actually, three different sizes because I have some of those little tiny ones and some that are broken off because I've used them. So I'll just start up here at his head, put in a stick like that. This just helps to add nice stability to him, and it just makes him so nice, just really robust. So just put the sticks willy-nilly wherever I think that might be a good idea to have a little bit of extra support. This one I probably should bring down a little lower so it goes over this part. It's like I'm needing a new glue stick already. I have them in a little pouch here. Well, there we go. So I didn't even use any of my big sticks. Okay, I'm getting down towards the bottom where I'm going to be adding the stick that's going to go into my base. So I want to make sure I don't get this there. So this is the kind of stick. Sometimes I use these big round sticks that were drilled, the holes were drilled the right size in my bases. So I'm going to go get a base. Okay, this was just some old wood that I had seen at a thrift store. And I had my son drill me out some holes in it so that I could fit these dowel rods down into it. It's a tight fit. Of course, I probably wouldn't use this little bare one. I'd rather just have regular wood, but I've run out of those. So let me go ahead and put the stick on here. And then I'll show you the next thing that I like to do. Well, first I have to glue both parts together. So now all I do is take my second guy and I'm going to glue him on top like that. So I start at the top, usually start going down the stick, putting some dots elsewhere, and then I just bring this over and match it up quickly, carefully. There we go. And then you just kind of fold this part up and you can continue putting more on here. I run out of glue sticks really fast. Always make sure I have a good supply of glue. Okay, might be enough here left. Okay, I think that's fine like that. Okay, this guy is ready to go. So I used to spin wool, you know, to make yarn with a spinning wheel. So I have a lot of lamb's wool here that I can use for his hair. I have all different colors. So I was just looking for something that pretty much matched him, and this looks like it's perfect. So I can just make him a little bit more realistic. Having some hair. So let's see, then all I'll do is take my hot glue gun and get a glue stick. Put some glue here. And then just kind of shove that in there and try not to get burnt. There we go. Put some over here. So this is actual wool from a lamb, from a sheep. And you can fix that for the part that doesn't stick, bring it right off. There we go. And okay, the final thing I'm going to do for him, and I have him lifted up so I don't mess up the other side, but I've already done this. So I'm just going to go ahead and, you know what, excuse my fingernails if y'all been noticing them. Yesterday I spent all day playing with screen printing and all kind of paints and inks, and I never really did redo my nails. So I'm just going to use this stuff, put some dots in, just to glitter them up just a little bit. Give him a little pizzazz. Okay. And I might go down, I think I will go down here a little bit. Here, I haven't done this on the other side, so I might go back and do a little bit more on that side. Okay, and then the final thing that I usually like to do is give him the glossy eyes, which is this glossy accents, which I've shown y'all before. And I just put this on the eyes because I think it just gives them a nice sheen. And this was something also that I learned from Jill at CraftBundle. So, and that's pretty much it. He's done. So I will just come back and give you a photograph of everybody done. So, hey, if you like my videos, please give me a thumbs up and subscribe and hit that bell so that you get notified whenever I do videos, especially the live ones. Oh yeah, and especially on Wednesdays, because every single Wednesday, my sister Jean Frieda is sending me a mystery bag, box, something from Joann's or any other place where she's going to give me all the supplies I need and a photo of something she wants me to create just using the stuff in the mystery box or the mystery mailing with either my Cricut machine or my CAMEO. So it's going to be a lot of fun. I look forward to seeing what she sends to me every single Wednesday, 1 p.m. Eastern Time. Join me. Let's see what Jean Frieda has up her sleeve this week. Anyway, again, please remember to subscribe, hit the bell, share this, check out my links down below, and I'll see you, if not before, I'll see you Wednesday, live at 1 p.m. Eastern for a mystery.